Anytime a child is killed, those responsible need to be held accountable to the fullest extent. And I don't just mean a stern talking to or losing your job. I mean going to prison for a very, very long time or even being executed. That's the only position that makes a lick of sense. But yet the amount of excuse making and double standard going on right now is absolutely insane. And I'm talking about the little girls' school in Iran that was recently bombed. And almost 200 people, again, most of them little girls, were killed. What were you doing at age 8 or 9 or 10? Did you know anything about global conflicts? Did you choose to live in a certain place? Did you care about any of these adult conflicts? No, you just wanted to be left alone. You didn't want to be blown up. And I think that's fair and reasonable. All children are innocent, okay? Now, just imagine there were a security company in the United States and they were providing a legitimate service, having to hunt down criminals and thieves and murderers and rapists. But say they were going around, all guns blazing, shooting up neighborhoods and throwing bombs and, trying to kill or capture these criminals. And they one day lobbed a missile into a neighborhood and blew up a house and killed 5 people. What should happen to that company? Would they need to be held responsible? Would they get sued into oblivion? Would they all be facing life in prison? Yes, as they should. We have an entire industry in this country. All you need to do is drive down the freeway for 5 minutes and you see the never-ending billboards. Injured, contact this attorney. He gets multi-million-dollar payouts for accidents, not even doing things on purpose. Okay, so if you accidentally hurt somebody in this country, it's going to ruin your life. But yet, if you do so under the guise of the U.S. military, and now, by the way, to be fair, I don't know for sure if this missile that blew up this girls' school was a U.S. missile. It's looking like it was, but it really doesn't even matter. You've already got the warmongers coming out making excuses as though it was a U.S. missile, saying things like, well, it was on a military base and there are risks associated with being near military bases. It's like, excuse me, there are all kinds of United States military bases with schools on them. Okay, can you imagine the American reaction? Can you imagine the American outrage if even 5 kids were killed on an American military base by some foreign military? Like literally nukes would start flying the same day. It would be a justification for World War III. And that is not an exaggeration, okay? But yet, when the U.S. does it by accident, you get all the excuses in the world. Oh, it was the fog of war. Oh, it was nearby a military base. Oh, we didn't know. It was a mistake. It's like, okay, fine. You made a mistake. Then everybody responsible for that, the person who pulled the trigger, the person who told them to pull the trigger, however many people were in that room responsible for greenlighting that decision, need to be in handcuffs right now. And they need to go on trial, and hopefully a few of them end up getting executed. Now, you're never going to see that. You will absolutely never see that. And that's why you will continue to see collateral damage in war, because everybody makes endless excuses for the state. The state is never held personally accountable for anything, whether it's lying your way into war or haphazardly bombing the shit out of innocent people or embargoes that get hundreds of thousands of innocent kids killed, like in Iraq by Madeleine Albright. May she burn in hell. You name it. The state is never held responsible the way that average citizens are held responsible. Better yet, they're rewarded. They're rewarded with book deals and promotions and the admiration from the public for being strong leaders like Pete Hegseth and Donald Trump. May they both burn in hell. Stop making excuses for murder just because the state does it, just because your beloved military does it. Think about that for a second. People can be so pathetic as to gloss over and dismiss the killing of kids, the murder of kids, because their military did it, because their identity is so wrapped up and so wound up in this patriotic flag-waving fucking nonsense that they can't just come right out and say, you know what? Yeah, that's horrifying. That's really bad. We really fucked up and we need to do something about it and we need to face the consequences. No, people would rather do mental gymnastics to try to erase it away and sweep it under the rug. And I promise you, nobody's going to care about this in like 2 weeks. Now, I can already hear the excuses brewing from the warmongers. They're going to say something like, but the enemies, they use human shields. They hide amongst innocent people. And to that, I would say, well, that makes them just as morally disgusting, right? Like if there's a bad guy and they take a hostage as a human shield, Would you then cheer when the police blew up both the bad guy and the hostage? No. At this point now, obviously the criminal who's now dead, they were wrong. And the police who blew both parties up, they are also wrong. Okay, so it's like two wrongs don't make a right. And yeah, I understand that people using human shields, that complicates things. Yes, of course, that's war. War is always going to have innocent people intermixed among the enemy. But that doesn't absolve you of responsibility. That doesn't mean that you just get to say, well, it was hard and I still wanted to kill these people. So, too bad, so sad. You can't make excuses for that.